and welcome. I'm Atika Farooqui. This is Now Showing. I'm someone who loves movies and also likes well-meaning people who love movies. Today there is a director whose film got made after 12 years of scripting. An actress who sits in a corner of a room in a gathering, but when she acts, all the eyes are on her. And we remember and celebrate KK. Kal yaad aayenge ye pal. A man whose demise has shocked this entire world. Let's begin with the headlines. Samrat Prithviraj is a well-told historical with brilliant performances by Ashutosh Rana and Sonu Sood and glorifies the warrior while not being jingoistic. Yami Gautam speaks to us exclusively and reveals the tricks of turning into a successful actress. And a special tribute to the voice of love, KK, who passed away in Kolkata earlier this week. Let's talk about Samrat Prithviraj that releases in theatres this week. Going back to our history textbooks, Prithviraj Chauhan has been one of the most alluring figures in the ancient Indian history. Remember that picture from your textbook where Kumari Sanyukta, the daughter of the king of Kannauj, had garlanded a statue of Prithviraj she was so madly besotted with at her Swayamvar without even seeing him. The stories of Prithviraj of having been named as his father's successor at the age of 11. He was highly educated in various subjects and disciplines, knew 6 languages, and despite multiple wars, he never killed the king of the warring enemy. And that led to a miserable, treacherous attack and deceit on him by Muhammad Ghori. All these legends make for a great cinematic piece as it has valor, romance, picturesque visuals and of course also the power to play to the gallery. Directed by Dr. Chandra Prakash Dwivedi, who had directed the famous TV show Chanakya and the film Pinjar, is a man known to be a rational storyteller who knows his job. Samrat Prithviraj is a film that does go deep into the times, that is 12th century, where the north of India was fragmented into small kingdoms who were always warring with each other. Jai Singh, related to Prithviraj, is angry that his grandfather gave the throne of Delhi to Prithviraj and not him. His daughter marries Prithviraj as a mark of defiance. Angry Jai Singh colludes with Muhammad Ghori, who had already unsuccessfully fought Prithviraj and lost to him several times. With the cooperation of Jai Singh, Muhammad Ghori, in treacherous fight, breaking all rules of the war, fights and captures Prithviraj, blinds him, and ultimately there is a climax which is one interpretation out of the several interpretations and theories that literature from history has given to us, a brilliant climax. I will not spoil it for you though, that's for you to see yourself. The show begins with a gladiator-like scene where a blinded Akshay fights with 3 lions, and his sense of hearing is so sharp that this action scene, choreographed by Franz Spillhorst and Parvez Sheikh, is absolutely stunning. It gave me goosepimples. The VFX and the impact of that scene is worth the hefty money invested in the film. I sat back knowing that the film will be a roller coaster of a ride, which it was. It moves fast without any lag. The direction and the writing and the dialogues by Dr. Chandra Prakash Dwivedi rely heavily on facts and history instead of taking sides or painting either sides with black or white paintbrush. Quite close to the culture of that time, there are scenes with regressive customs or just practices true to that time. The performances by Sonu Sood, who plays the court poet and astrologer and a friend of Prithviraj, was great. Jai Singh, I must say, played by Ashutosh Rana, certainly gives the most scintillating emotions in the entire film. Every time Ashutosh Rana was there, I watched out for his performance. Manushi Chhillar, surprisingly, is very good with her diction and the body language as a young empress. Akshay is impressive as Prithviraj, but like in several films, his own personality never ceases to shine out, even within a historical character that he plays that is so powerful. The voice, the mannerisms could have been worked on for a film of such scale. But I am always amazed at the level of agility that he shows in his action scenes particularly. In a war film, Akshay just kills it. The war scenes are powerful, but the dialogues between characters are verbose and too heavy and dramatic. Also, the language does not resemble the discourse of that time, as Sanskrit was a predominant language, but here the film's conversations are quite contemporary in feel. The seriousness with which the film is made must be applauded though, as despite being a biopic on Prithviraj Chauhan, it does leave room for an objective look at the times that he was in. Director does not glorify him at the cost of compromising on the historical facts or just playing to the gallery. The popular literature on Prithviraj is Prithviraj Raso, written by his own court poet Chand Bardai, played by Sonu Sood. It was also Hamir Mahakavya and Tabaqat-e-Naseem, written by Hassan Nizami. The death of the warrior is still a subject of discussion, but director Dr. Dwivedi gives his own interpretation and gives us a beautiful climax laden with lovely action, again by the same team. I will not spoil it for you. You must watch the climax. Muhammad Ghori, played by a brilliant actor, Manav Vij, was given the costume and the voice of a sly, conniving invader from the Middle East, but not enough teeth to look or sound more ghastly or formidable. A tool that the director often uses to create a strong antagonist for our feelings to flow for the protagonist. That seems missing. The music, unlike other historicals, is not memorable. The fact that screenplay is so packed that songs only break the flow. Also, the hairstyles of the 12th century warriors were like manicured hairdos given to them in a posh salon by probably Alim Hakim. It's high time we need to be true to the look of a 12th century Indian for the sake of a powerful historical and a powerful impact. Overall, I came out of the hall quite mesmerized by the warrior, and also happy that I saw a well-meaning and a well-made historical by a good director. Moving on, Yami Gautam, the star of such films like Uri, Bala, Vicky Donor, Dasvi and A Thursday, took some time out this week and sat down with me for a candid chat on the weekend over a cup of tea. She recently married Uri director Aditya Dhar. We talked about how an introverted person such as herself can enjoy a successful movie career. We also speak about at what stage in her career did she start to choose different kind of roles and what's the technique of being relevant in this industry, and lots more. 10 years, a decade is long enough.
Actually, I don't know. I just feel I've just begun. And the only reason I get reminded is when, you know, all the journalists are just asking this question, but it doesn't feel like 10 at all.
It doesn't feel?
Yeah, it doesn't feel, because I just feel like I've just begun, like literally.
Yami, I really liked your performance in A Thursday.
Thank you.
Then I loved your performance in Dasvi, jisme you played a very dabang police officer. It was very unlike of you. I mean, if you were not cast in that movie, I wouldn't have imagined you in that role, because you were always come across as a dainty, pretty, beautiful girl with a good heart. But here you made use of your physical prowess. What kind of roles are your forte that you think ki, even in the beginning of my career I thought ki ye roles main अच्छे कर सकती हूँ? And have you got the roles that you were looking out for?
Anyone who's coming from my background, nothing will just happen. You know, and you have to create and make your own journey. As an actor, जब मैंने एटलीस्ट शुरुआत की थी, मेरे यही था जहन में कि मुझे जो अच्छे रोल्स मिलेंगे मुझे वही करने हैं. अब वो कॉमेडी हो या विकी डोनर जैसी फिल्म हो, इट डजंट मैटर. बट जैसा आप सोचते हैं, it doesn't always happen. You know, it takes time. अपने जिसमें आप बिलीव करते हैं उन वैल्यूज़ के बेसिस पर अपना मुकाम हासिल भी अभी भी बहुत जल्दी है बोलना, पर अपनी जर्नी खुद एक रिस्पेक्ट के साथ बनाना, मुझे लगता है वो मेरे लिए बहुत ज़रूरी था. तो उस टाइम वो भले ही मौके उस टाइम नहीं मिले होंगे, बट स्पेशली आफ्टर उरी एंड स्पेशली बाला के बाद व्हाट फॉलोड वाज अ ग्रेट array of opportunities that people were like, oh, we didn't know she could do comedy. Oh, we didn't know she could do this. Oh, we didn't know she could do that.
Yeah, that is the problem every actor faces. How do you break the perceptions of people? How did you reach out to the directors and tell them that I can do this role and I can do comedy and I can do Bala and I can do Dasvi and I can do that?
I think one of the ways to figure that out is with a look test. Or you read a line, or you read some lines. जैसे for Bala, और ये वेस्ट में बहुत होता है, बहुत कॉमन है. आप चाहे जितने बड़े एक्टर हों, जितने भी बड़े स्टार्स हों, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स दे हैव टू रीड आउट अ सीन, एंड उनको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है उससे. यहाँ पे वो अभी कल्चर नहीं है. यहाँ पे आपको लगेगा कि अरे आप मुझे सीन पढ़ने को बोल रहे हैं पर कोई और एक्टर से तो आपने नहीं पढ़वाया, और आपको लगता है आप अच्छे एक्टर हैं तो ऐसा क्यों, बट एनीवेज अब आप ऐसा क्यों सोच के चलेंगे तो फिर काम नहीं बनेगा। मुझे उस टाइम ये था दैट आई हैव टू गेट दिस बिकॉज मैं ऑलरेडी फॉर एग्जांपल जो दिनेश विजन है उनके साथ ऑलरेडी बदलापुर कर चुकी थी, मैं उनसे मीटिंग के लिए आई थी, वहीं दौरान अमर वहाँ थे, तो वी वर जस्ट टॉकिंग एंड ही सेड, उन्होंने उस टाइम कुछ नहीं कहा बट बाद में था दैट एक है फिल्म बट वो रोल बिल्कुल यू नो अलग है आपकी पर्सनालिटी से और किसी ने आपको इस तरह से नहीं करते हुए देखा, तो आप सुनना चाहेंगे? मैंने कहा हाँ, तो कहते आप, उन्होंने मुझे एक सीन दिया क्योंकि आपके अपने अंदाज में या जो आपकी समझ में आता है आप ये कैसे बोलती, मैंने पढ़ा एक बार और जो मैंने इमेजिन किया, जो मुझे समझ में आया मैंने बोला, उन्होंने वो अच्छा लगा, so that's my character. Nice. That is Pari. Nice. So आप अपने रास्ते फिर खुद बनाइए. This is the best way. This is the most impartial way to get the correct roles जो आपको लगता है आप deserve करते हैं. उरी also. मैं जानती थी कि primarily film एक mission based film है, but मुझे पता था स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ के कि बहुत अच्छी स्क्रिप्ट है और ये जो डायरेक्टर हैं बहुत क्लियर हैं और मुझे एक ऐसा रोल दिया गया है जिसने पहले मुझे कभी किसी ने सोचा ही नहीं इस तरह के रोल में, और अगर if anyone has the eye for a performance, वो आपको उस सीन में समझ आ जाएगा जहाँ पे from a nurse I turn into the agent. Right. And then even for a Thursday and Dasvi, again Thursday with that kind of role and with that kind of you know, but I'm sure Behzad, I'm glad that he came to me and I read the script and I said I want to do this, and so with Dasvi. With Dasvi again, they said, see, you're working with Abhishek, who's tall and you know all that, and you're so short and you're so. I said, but you don't need to be in a certain way to look assertive. आप अपनी performance और body language से आप वो कर सकते हैं. That's my job.
You open the papers and on the page 3, all the rising faces, all the girls who are yet to or in the process of making a mark in the are under the pressure of, you know, this is what they're wearing. This is their airport look, this is their this look, that look, and the pressure to look good all the time is there on them all the time. What are the pressures of an Indian actress or a Hindi cinema actress these days that she has to deal with on a daily basis?
I'm sure every generation brings a change with itself. A lot of things are self-created. Sometimes we create some certain monsters and we have to deal with them then. You know, it's a vicious circle. Sometimes you feel no, times are changing and you have to respect that. That's the way it is. Either you be a part of it or you be ignored. I think there's so many distractions and there's so many parameters that have been created. You have to be in a certain way and then only you know, you're an equity today. Okay, you are you come down to being a commodity today. That these many brands, these many appearances, you have to be pabbed everywhere. You have to look a certain way at the airport if you've seen. I feel all these things are also, especially with this burst of social media and being captured so much, is also one of the reasons why I think actors of my generation somewhere are it's a distraction.
It is a distraction, yeah.
And there was a time where there was a charm, you know, where actors enjoyed because there was an exclusivity. An actor said once, the lesser you know about me, the easier it is for me to convince you about the character that I'm playing.
Very nice. What a lovely line.
So, but you see me everywhere. Then what's the, you know, and why this pressure? I don't succumb to this. I don't believe in it. Yes, wherever you go, you look apt. Even if I was not an actor, I would have still had a look before I walked out, which is a very basic thing to do. And what happens in this whole environment of this whole new culture that has come up, you feel perceptions are made.
Yeah.
And they're very deceptive. No?
Yeah.
You feel, oh, you know, you can, of course, we all know that they get paid also to get, you know, PAP. There's so many things that you can pay. Some, of course, a lot are, you know, genuine also. But you think we can buy perceptions, but that's very deceptive.
That's deceptive.
And that's very distracting. So you need to decide as an actor for yourself, अगर आप कोई newcomer हैं या अगर जिनकी आप बात कर रहे थे, आपको ये देखना है कि आपको क्या चाहिए इस इंडस्ट्री से, इस प्रोफेशन से, एंड देन यू वर्क टुवर्ड्स इट.
टेल मी, यू बिलोंग टू हिमाचल प्रदेश, राइट? कुछ हिमाचली में मुझे भाषा अच्छी से तो कुछ सुनाइए, कुछ बताइए, कुछ सिखाइए.
मुझे मम्मी ने बोला कि पहले तुम मेरे साथ प्रैक्टिस करोगी, फिर कैमरा पे बोलोगी. समटाइम्स यू मिक्स पहाड़ी एंड पंजाबी बोथ. तुहा वास्ते क्या बोलना, तुहा बहुत बहुत खरे हन, थोड़ा शो बहुत ही खरा है. मैं तुहा जो किन्ने सालत जान दी, हाँ गल कर दे, और थोड़ी स्माइल, थोड़ा गल, थोड़ियाँ गल्लां, थोड़ियाँ बातां, थोड़ियाँ ऑनेस्टी, इट्स वेरी स्वीट. कने हाँ तुहा जो किसी दिन पहाड़ी ताम खुआंगे.
Congratulations on
Thank you so
completing
much.
10 years in this
Oh God.
industry. You deserve
Thank
much,
you.
much more.
Yeah, I will party tonight.
Time for a short break. Some people are shocked to realize that the songs they had been listening to and humming were actually sung by KK. Khuda jaane kyun. Remember? Guzarish song from Guzarish. Tu hi meri shab hai. Avarapan, Banjarapan. The low-key singer who made little noise but had a huge body of great work left us earlier this week. Time for a short break. When we come back, we have a starry tribute for KK. Welcome back to Now Showing. I am Atika Farooqui. KK, who is often called the voice of the youth and the voice of love, passed away on Tuesday night after a performance at a packed concert in Kolkata when he complained of uneasiness. Popularly known for his timeless songs like Yaron, Dosti, Badi Hi Haseen Hai और Pal Ye Hain Pyar Ke Pal, to Tadap Tadap Ke Is Dil Se Ah Nikalti Rahi, to songs from Om Shanti Om, the list is long and endless. He left a void, not just in the film industry, but also in our hearts.
The title song from KK's 1999 debut album. Prophetic too, in that it became an icon's last stage performance. Even during the concert, KK looked unwell, sweating, tired. He'd even taken a break but returned to the show despite the discomfort. Then, minutes later, this. Rushed out from the Nazrul Mancha auditorium to hospital, where he passed away.
He was part of my lots of songs. एयरलिफ्ट के गाने भी उसने एक बहुत बड़ा गाना गाया था, तू भूला जिसे, जो कि एक्चुअली क्लाइमैक्स गाना था. It was because of that song the climax was sounding so good. It's very sad that lots of our singers, we're losing them, and it happened in a very young age.
Not a day gone by in the last 20 years and more that KK's music hasn't rung out. And there won't be ahead too, because this singer is on every playlist. Happy, sad, romantic, nostalgic, hope, despair. At every school and college farewell, KK plays. 6 Filmfare Awards in his kitty is just one end of the tribute to an immense body of work across 6 languages, across multiple age groups. The man who put music and voice to every mood has been silenced.
I used to always tell KK, Teri kal ki awaaz, and he used to smile. But what I meant was that the youngsters, I mean, if you remember, the song, Ras peene ki pyas hai, banda ye bindas hai. The way he twanged that word, bindas hai, banda ye bindas hai, was a voice of his own. And when you remember his voice today, you'll understand that every youngster who grew up hearing his music has memories attached through his voice.
Much has been made of overcrowding and poor air conditioning and bad ventilation at the Nazrul Auditorium, Investigations are on, speculation will continue, so will the politics. Fact is, it's the end of a glorious music creator. His musical creations take on a new dimension.
Up next, we have Shilpa Rao, who not just crooned her career's defining song with KK but also was her friend. My colleague Vishal Chatkara spoke to Shilpa about the legacy that KK leaves behind and about his mesmerizing voice.
खुदा जाने के मैं फिदा हूँ, खुदा जाने मैं मिट गया, खुदा जाने ये क्यों हुआ है कि बंदे हो तुम मेरे खुदा. That's just all KK.
Shilpa Rao, very sad day for the nation and for the world of music. We lost KK, most soothing voice, really one of our gems. So how do you remember him today?
I remember his smile, and through that smile you could hear his voice. I think that's what I remember of KK. Yes.
Shilpa, do you remember when was the last time you met KK?
It was actually very recently, just 10 days back or probably 15 days back. We were at a concert and he was just about to go on stage, and I saw him and I hugged him for almost 2 minutes, and I felt it's so good to see you. It's so good to meet you. He finished his performance and he was leaving, and it just occurred to me that, like, KK, we don't have a picture together ever. And said, let's take a picture, and we took a picture, and I had no idea it would be the last that I was seeing him. It was just unimaginable. I can't believe that was the last time I saw him.
He was an established singer when you entered movie business. What do you think? Why he had such a long and enduring music career?
There are a lot of factors, but I think the most important factor was he was himself. He was very unique as a voice, as a human being. There was nobody like him, and there can be no one like him. Anything he would sing, you could tell it's KK. It cannot be anyone else. I think that was the most beautiful quality about him, and that voice. It was just plain simple from the heart.
What is your most enduring memory, maybe from the time that you all, both of you, performed together on a stage?
I was very fortunate to open for him when I started off, because he was established and people were crazy about him. People still are. I think they're always going to be. And I could not have asked for a better stage. To open for KK was an absolute honor.
Shilpa, what according to you was his gift?
I'm thinking of him and he puts a smile on my face. That's what is the gift. It's just the music. Nothing else matters. I think he stood for that and he lived it. There was no, वो कहते ना, कोई शोशा नहीं था. वो अपना जीन्स टी-शर्ट पहन करके स्टेज पे आते थे और वो गाते थे. और वो आवाज ही सब कुछ थी और वैसा ही होना चाहिए.
As KK had sung, Zindagi do pal ki. This time has made us realize that life is too short to be undervalued. With that, we have come to the end of another episode of Now Showing. We will see you next week with more reviews and more interviews. Until then, goodbye and keep singing and keep smiling.